3, 1. Hello, it's Coach MK, and I don't know if you heard, but webinar, we had a few technical difficulties. Not thrilled about it, but that c'est la vie. That's French. Did I say that right? I'm never sure. But this is at a very opportune moment because I happen to be on the phone on the FaceTime. Boy, I sound old then. I got on the Google and then the FaceTime. This is Nakia. This is Coach Nakia, who will be leading Build. So excited. I was like, do you want to get on the live stream? She was like, no. I was like, too late.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to coach everybody. And that's my dog Ranger, who will probably be showing up in some of the morning stretches and things. But yeah, I'm really excited to kind of get everybody on their journey and make sure everybody's feeling coached and loved. And
know that they're winning at life. Sometimes you need to hear it. I know. Yes. I needed to hear it today after that webinar didn't work. I was like,
oh. That's honestly, even in this environment, winning at life, it can look a lot of different ways. It might be like my rest day today, or or it is going out and running until you realize that you need to take an Uber back home.
That being in that binary place, either you do everything exactly as written, or I do what I want, and you don't even see the training plan as a helpful suggestion. So it's hard to carve out your own way of doing things and feel comfortable with it, because it either feels like you're following or breaking the rules. There's no we're conditioned.
No but here we're all the in between. We're all ends of the spectrum. So I'm looking forward to really kind of getting to know people and hearing more about what their goals are, what brings them to this program, what they're looking for as far as like being coached, and honestly just, enjoying the journey, because it is all about the journey.
It is. The destination doesn't suck, but the journey is the best part, because you get to hang out with Nakia like more than I do. And I know I already suck up a whole lot of your time, don't I? Anyways, there we go. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm sorry I didn't intentionally leave you out of the webinar tonight. I left about 400 people out of a webinar at noon. So it isn't just you. Did that help? No.
and honestly, it's all good, because I was like, if it's setting the tone, I did leave some people on my watch party though. Seemed like it got to a couple folks, and one of my friends actually reached out to me. So
cool.
So she might do more of a rebuild, because she's run a marathon and has run a couple halves. Actually, she's run a lot more than a couple halves, but she's been in a big. It's been hard with, I think there's a foot injury, and it's one of those kind of things.
Yeah.
But I was like, rebuild would be good for you. I think you'd like it. And she was like, yeah, I think so, because she was thinking build, and I was like, no, you've got the base. You're not new.
I know, that's so funny to me how much people I would say overthink that, or how much they doubt it. It's like, I don't know if I'm building or rebuilding. I don't know that I ever built properly. And I'm like, let's take a breath. You're good.
Well, and I think a lot of people get that mindset of like, oh, I haven't run in a year, so I can't possibly ever get back. And it's like, well, no, like if anything, you can get back. And that's the hope. I mean, but for me, I mean, I've been telling people, I'm like, you probably have more fitness, especially like depending on what their occupation is. That's my favorite. It's like, oh, what do you do? And it's like you find out that they're like an assistant principal that clocks at least 7 miles a day running back and forth between classrooms. I'm like, oh, you're fine.
Yes.
All you have to do is just speed that pace up a little bit, and you'll be running. And you probably have been running through the halls because children.
Because children, yes, they have that effect incessantly. Oh my God! Not that you know anything about that yet, but
nope, I don't know anything about this. I had 3 younger siblings. That's the only thing, and my mom would make us. My one little brother, I only have one brother, and he would take off.
He's a sprinter.
He was a sprinter. Like he would we would hit the front door of a mall and just sprint. And I'd be like, oh, come on. And then it was like our responsibility to go like get him. And then we tried the leash thing for like 2 years.
On your brother?
Yeah, and then we had to stop that. And my mom was like, we can't do this leash nonsense anymore.
I just know I love it. I was going to say, how does he feel about it?
He does not remember the leash years. He does not remember.
So he isn't scarred.
No, he literally does not remember the leash. And I think the leash was like when he was 2.
So you heard it here first. A leash, not that bad.
Not that bad. Yeah, you can leash your children, and I mean, yeah, people will judge you for it, but honestly, it's probably better than having your kids.
Seriously, people are going to judge you for everything, and they sure don't help. So you do you, boo.
If they're not helping you chase that child, then let them snicker about the leash.
Truth. God knows I wanted to leash my couple of my kids at different points, but
are they sprinters? Are they the ones that like hit the door of the stop and just take off rolling?
No, they're sneaky. They are sneaky. They know exactly how to wind up my oldest daughter. So they will do something to wind her up, wait for her to be distracted, and then go out the other way. So they're more like stealthy.
My sister that's right below me did that. That was her because I'm the oldest. So I was the one that was like, I'm in charge of handling things. Mind you, I was not in charge. I was probably 8, and it's
no. Everybody in the webinar got to see who's in charge of this household. She's got 2 little pigtails and screams a lot.
Was it Violet?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and she's probably enjoying this time where everybody's home and all eyes are on her.
Yeah, I mean, all eyes are never off of her. There's just more people she can ask for cheese. And they don't know that. I mean, she just says it so pitifully. Nobody else realizes actually what you're giving her is actually her 5th cheese stick today. This isn't healthy. It's a thing. Violet likes cheese.
That's how Ranger is. I mean, it's like
your dog.
Like I told my boyfriend one time when I was going for a race, and I was like, okay, he's going to try and trick you and show you that he has not had enough to eat. And he's going to flip that bowl, and he's going to whine, and he's going to cry, and then he's going to like, it happened to me. It almost happened to me this morning where I fed him, he ate, I took him outside to potty, we came back in, and then he just started whining and flipping the bowl, and I'm like, I fed you. Like, I know I fed you, but you almost had me there because I hadn't had coffee yet. He almost got it.
I love it. That's amazing. Just amazing. Oh my God. Well, I will let you run. I appreciate you. We'll talk Racer interrupted later, but yeah, we're just going to try to collect up all the people who's interrupted and don't know what to do next. And then try to like guide them towards maintain.
Yeah. Cause I think that honestly, it like for me, this has been a great time to just kind of rely on my schedule. Like I'm going to do what I feel is right. And, maybe throw some TRX certification in the mix. So I'm doing.
Congratulations on that, by the way. I can't wait. Let us know after you're done. Post a photo of you doing whatever move it is that you get to do. I did TRX for a little while when I was trying to rehab my shoulder, and that stuff is hard. I don't care how much you weigh. That is a straight up body weight workout. And so whenever people are like, oh no, you need to lift heavy things. I'm like, your body is a heavy thing. You just need to get in the most awkward position possible or not. Or I can just watch you. I'm like, why? I would consume you the way that I consume like the Iron Chef and cooking shows. Like that is hard. I am never going to do that. Ooh, it's kind of like there's no difference between the Great British Baking Show and American Ninja Warrior to me. It's all stuff I'm just not going to do.
I love American Ninja Warrior because I'm always like, I was like, how did they train for that? Like, how did they? And then you start seeing that there's like actual gyms for it. Like,
yes, gyms that host kids' birthday parties.
What?
Yep. I'm like, we need to have Nakia's birthday party there.
I literally, that kind of stuff I just love so much because I'm like, they're swinging across there, like just, all that kind of stuff is just so amazing to me. I'm like, TRX is the closest I'm ever going to get. Ranger says hello.
Hello, Ranger. Pretty doggy.
He's so cute. But yeah, I got my set, I put it over the door, and I tested the door anchor. And I was like, all right, I haven't pulled in the door because it has to have a deadbolt. So I was like, I literally was like, all right, if this pulls the door in on my house, at least we'll get it fixed tomorrow. We'll deal with it tomorrow.
Get certification today. Nothing else matters.
We'll deal with the rest of it tomorrow because I was not about to put it through any of these walls. Like they're definitely drywall, and it's not like. It needs to go through like a cinder block wall. Like,
oh yeah, there's no way we could have one in our 150-year-old house where everything's plaster on the walls. I can't hang anything like heavier than a little bitty plaque. Like we can't even hang our college diplomas. It's really sad.
Mine's in a closet somewhere, and I feel really like everybody's like, "Oh, like I feel bad for the class of 2020," and I'm like, all my stuff's been in a closet since that day.
Yep. My graduation got rained out. At Georgetown.
We were lucky, but it was so cold. It was the coldest May morning I think I've ever seen in Roanoke. And I had like I had pink shoes on because it was our a cappella group, and then a white dress underneath. And I was like, I wish I'd worn pants.
That is something I don't think I've ever said. I can't think of a single situation where I've been like, I wish I wore pants.
That was probably
it must have been really cold.
Like, you really are like, yeah, everybody wears like the white dress at graduation, and and that's just, I don't know if that's just a Southern thing.
It's a Southern thing.
A lot of people down here, and I went to an all-girls boarding school, and so we wore white underneath our white gowns because we were the Virgin Trees.
That sounds like a punk band.
It's literally in the alma mater.
Wow. Oh, wild.
Wow. Yeah. All that stuff is just so funny. It's like, and thinking about this time and pomp and circumstance, so I'm wondering, I'm interested to see how it changes things for our kids, and like even my youngest sister, she is graduating regardless, but my parents' last baby, they made it through, got us all through high school, and damn.
But now it's done.
They're done, and you can tell.
I mean, there are days I'm done too. I'm just not finished. There's a difference. Oh my God. But I'm going to go wrap this up. We're at the live stream now. Question and answers about Build from the Build webinar. That is Coach Nakia. You will get to see her in Facebook groups later tonight if you're on in there, and get to see her later. That's her smiling face. Yay, Coach Nakia. We love you. Yay, Coach Nakia and Ranger. And I will holler at you later. Thanks, lady.
All right. Bye, friends.
Amazing. So, yeah, sorry again for the terrible for the technical difficulties earlier. That was really frustrating, but it looks like we're set and ready to go for the one in 45 minutes. So hopefully we don't have a repeat of what happened earlier, or at least I'm reasonably confident that we won't, which probably means we will, but whatever. At least I am wearing pants and my hair is dry. So I count that as 2 huge wins in this day and age. Would like to give a shout out to the people who've already purchased Build. I was really excited to see that. It made my day. One person even bought the whole year, and everybody seems to be gravitating toward the 3-month option. But I love that as well. I wanted to make the reason that we created that a little bit differently, because the rest of Fitness Protection is a monthly subscription. What I wanted with Build was a different type of intake. You love pants? I get you. I don't understand you, but I get you. You have the right. I hate pants. It's thing. I've never liked pants. I run in as little as possible. I just don't want anything that could I could trip over or could constrain me in any way. So the shorter and the tighter and the less likely people are to look me in the face when I wear them, the better. Because when you're this middle-aged with gray hairs, I got tiger stripes going on both sides of my head. So when you're middle-aged, wearing short shorts, running down the road, people don't talk to you, and it's wonderful. I wish I had done this sooner. I guess I've hit that age where I'm like awkwardly too old to be doing some of the things that I do, which means I can do them with the freedom of being left alone. And it's amazing. Not saying this is what everybody should do. It's just like, wow, this is great. Because once upon a time, when you were a single female anywhere, you had to people saw that alone as an invitation to come speak to you. But running is now my alone time and stays that way. So that was not exactly thrilling. If you are here, I'm just going to sit here and talk and hang out for the next 20 minutes. If you have any questions about Build, go ahead and throw them in the chat, and they will pop up on my screen. I'm using a program called StreamYard to do this. So I will not be able to see your name unless you give StreamYard permission to share your name with me. There's just a little button to click there, but that's not a big deal. Every comment that's being made, either on the YouTube channel or on the Facebook page, are both coming into my little room right here, so I should be able to see them. So the reason that the on ramp for Build looks a little different than all the rest was I really wanted people to come in with a bigger commitment, as much as I hate that word, because I figure anyone who is considering distance running as a hobby, that is kind of, they ain't lazy. That's some motivation. Either they really genuinely want to do it, or they think it's something they should want to do. People who think it's something that they should want to do are not going to last long in my world, and that's okay. Either, or if you want to learn to love it, you want to give it a fair shot, but it's going to take more than a month. And I'm very honest about this, or at least I try to be. There are no quick fixes. The only quick fix is the shift that happens when you put on the heart rate monitor and you go for a jog and you see what 140 feels like. So if you don't hate it, if your ego can handle it, if you can say, wow, that's a run too, why didn't I do this sooner? This is amazing. That can be the flexion point, the turning point. That can be the moment where that's the biggest change. Everything else is just semantics. I didn't invent the science. I don't conduct research studies. I'm not a scientist by trade. Don't want to be, as my husband. That's not fun. There are limits to the math that I'm willing to do, and the cleanliness I'm going to demand anywhere in order to have, some clinical settings. So when I get used to cleaning my bathroom, we can talk about like trying to scrub into a laboratory. That's never going to happen. So I tell you that to underscore the fact that I'm not really doing anything new here. I'm delivering the same knowledge that's always been out there in a different way. The coaching cues that I have developed over time, it's my understanding and how I have synthesized the material. Good example, Alex Hutchison. Dr. Hutchison lives in Canada. He is one of the most revered sports researchers at the moment. He did The Science of Sport, his books about the endurance, about finding the limits of human potential. And his work is really, really, really amazing. And he's also a terrific human being. And I can't say that about a whole lot of people that I've met in the running industry in the past few years. But Alex Hutchison, Dr. Hutchison is a gem. When I read his work, and his work is very performance-based. He's speaking to elites and professionals and their coaches. The rest of us can read. I mean, obviously, no one's going to stop us from reading, the work that they put out. At the same time, I feel like it's not always clear what the key takeaway would be if you weren't in his target audience. So Dr. Hutchison knows exactly who he's speaking to. And it's pretty clear who he's speaking to when you're reading the material. But if you don't know who his audience is, and you don't realize that you don't necessarily fit that audience, then you're basically taking coaching cues for somebody else. And it's not going to be applicable to you. One of my favorites was a headline that came out a month and a half ago where it's, why do we warm up, or the purpose of the warm up. And the study was I forget where it had been performed, but it was about, again, the purpose of the warm up and does it improve performance. And the study concluded that warm up does not significantly impact or benefit performance in a way that they could specifically show or replicate in a setting. And I'm like, we don't warm up to beat the person next to us. We warm up to preserve our tendons, joints, and ligaments for the long haul. It was never about performance. Because you can have goals, you can train for performance, but it's not like every single aspect of your life. And it can feel that way when you're a leader professional, that everything you do is geared towards getting those marginal gains, towards being a little bit better than you were before, and hopefully on race day being just a little bit faster than the person next to you. The rest of us, we don't have to live under that constant, and we don't have to live in that pressure cooker. Why would you want to? It's not necessarily better. But I tell you that to tell you this: if the key takeaway for a couple of my runners was, he said that the warm up doesn't matter, and I'm like, that's not what he said. That is not what he said. Don't you misquote Dr. Hutchison? No, he did not say the warm ups don't matter. He is quoting a study that says we cannot effectively prove that a specific type of workout or a specific type of warm-up improves performance, but that's not why we warm up, period. So that's kind of the difference there. It's like I'm sort of the translator for this material, making sure that you get what you need to get, the best of the science, the most recent research, and how that would apply to you and your life as a recreational runner. More knowledge and more information can usually lead to more mandates or more made up rules that you don't necessarily need to follow, but kind of want to follow because it sounds kind of right and a little bit reasonable. We end up, through trying to do the right thing, can build a cage around ourselves that's really, really hard to break free from. And all my job is, all I'm here to do is to make sure that the cage you built keeps you safe as opposed to trapped. That's all. So skinny pants with stretch waist. That's my jam. I'm wearing, I don't think these are skinny pants. They're basically lounge pants. So they're from Lowly. Lowly is a lovely Canadian brand. Canadians evidently know comfy pants. Who knew? Thank you, Canada. But 3 or 4 of my favorite brands right now are all coming out of Canada, and they're some of the most comfortable and nice looking pants I've ever seen. Lowly is one of them. They're an athletic brand that was designed to be thrown over your clothes, worn to and from the gym. And these pants, man, they were a little bit thinner. I'd sleep in them, but they're fantastic, and they're very, very, very cozy. But everything I wear has a stretch waist. I haven't worn hard pants in a decade, and I don't think I'm ever going to go back. Why would you? It ain't better. They don't feel good, and I don't have more fun when I wear them. So that is that. What if you chafe? I'm assuming that that there's a slight lag here, and so you're asking, what if you chafe when wearing short things? You have a lot of different options, more options than we had back in the day. True story, when I first started running, we did not have we didn't even have sweat wicking clothes. That stuff wouldn't come around until I was in junior high. If you could buy some types of athletic shirts, but they weren't widely available. They were at specialty stores. They were like Umbro was a thing, I think, for a while. Maybe they still are. Soccer clothing. And you could get that at like Dick's Sporting Goods, but you had to go to the mall in Nashville, and we don't live anywhere near Nashville. So I tell you this, you weren't exactly getting athletic clothes from Walmart at the time. And that was one of the few places that we could go. So what we used back then, like everything chafed. My t-shirts chafed. My shoes chafed. I didn't even have proper running shoes until I was in high school. Looking back now, I'm like, how did I get through? I don't know. It's amazing my feet aren't more mangled than they actually are. But when it comes to, and the socks that we use, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Like big, thick, heavy cotton socks, trying to protect your feet, and when you're just like chewing them up. A lot has changed. You guys don't know, you kids don't know how good you have it. You really don't. So back in my day. But when it comes to chafing, the best option that we had is still one of the better options available today. And that's straight lube. And I know that sounds terrible, but if you think about what Astroglide was designed to do, it has to do with friction. That is what a lot of us used in the late 90s and early aughts. It was it's so uncomfortable. I hate even like talking about it, but not live on Facebook. Oh crap. Oops.